through the materials one time for Sanctuary Medicinals Incorporated, MCN 281308, cultivation Tier 5 indoor, and MPN 281405, product manufacturer. Kyle?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As you said, the applicant is Sanctuary Medicinals Incorporated. They will be located at 234 Taylor Street in Littleton, Mass. They are requesting a cultivation Tier 5 indoor license as well as a product manufacturing license. They do have another application that is not being considered today, which is a retail application. The individuals associated with this establishment include the following: Michael Wilmoth, which is the director; David Cyrek, director; Jason Sidman, an executive; Michael Allen, a close associate; Nicholas Satmary, Joshua Weaver, and James Alex, which are also close associates. Two entities were also listed on this application. One is Premier Healthcare Group LLC. It's the applicant's investment entity, and PHG, which is LLC, is the applicant's managing entity. The applicant is an RMD priority. They are in full compliance with DPH. The RMD business will be co-located with the adult use business in Littleton. The RMD does have a final certificate of registration for dispensing, cultivation, and processing. The host community agreement was executed on June 27th. The community outreach meeting was held on May 2nd. There were no objections that were communicated to the commission. We did receive a response on October 11th stating that the applicant was in compliance with all local ordinances and bylaws for both license types. The applicant did submit a plan for positively impacting areas of disproportionate impact, which include conducting industry-specific educational seminars in one or more of the following: cultivation, product manufacturing, retailing, or business training. They will donate to the Social Equity Training and Technical Assistance Fund. They will provide financial mentoring services or hosting organizations that provide these services. They will hold monthly informational sessions regarding the process for sealing and expunging criminal records. They will partner with and support organizations that provide jail diversion and restorative justice programs. They will institute hiring practices that prioritize the hiring of individuals from disproportionate areas, and they will have in-store donation drives, including direct giving and ongoing food and clothing drives. There were no concerns regarding any of the individuals or entities as far as backgrounds. There was no disclosures of any past civil or criminal actions, as well as no disclosures for any occupational license issues. There was a disclosure of a business interest in other jurisdictions. Jason Sidman and Joshua Weaver did disclose that they have an interest in a marijuana business in New Hampshire. None of these disclosures presented any suitability issues. The applicant did submit a proposed timeline. They state that an architectural plan will be submitted and that once changes are made to their facility, they could be operational within 6 months. The proposed hours of operation for these two establishments is 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The applicant was fully compliant with submitting all of the required summaries. All of the summaries were determined to be substantially compliant with our requirements. The applicant did submit a diversity plan. They plan on hosting career fairs in underrepresented and minority communities, specifically use suppliers who are committed to diversity and inclusion. They will provide training on recognizing unconscious bias. They will develop relationships with organizations serving minorities, women, people of all gender identities and sexual orientations, veterans, and persons with disabilities for employment referrals. And they will also try to establish a recruitment effort at higher learning institutions and institutions with programs that reach diverse people. The applicant plans to produce quarterly internal reports on its diversity initiatives. The applicant did submit a cultivation plan. They provided a detailed summary of its cultivation plan and provided information on the following areas: facility layout, best practices, irrigation, pest control prevention, sanitation, quality control, and monitoring and testing. They did submit a list of their proposed products, which include the following: dissolving tablets and strips, tinctures, nasal and oral spray, oil, wax, shatter, butter, resin, taffy, crumbles, cream, salves, lotions, body butters, topicals, dermal patches, capsules, beverages, sauces, dips, baked goods, chocolates, candies, mints, teas, and sugars. Commission staff do recommend issuing provisional licenses with the following conditions. One, that the final license is subject to certification that the applicant remains in compliance with DPH regulations. The final license is also subject to inspection and audit to ascertain compliance with all regulations. final license is subject to inspection and audit to ascertain that the facilities are compliant with all applicable state and local codes. The applicant shall cooperate with and provide information to commission staff, and the provisional licenses are subject to the applicable license payments. This recommendation was based on the applicant's demonstrated compliance with the laws and regulations of the Commonwealth, suitability for licensure, and upon the evaluation of the thoroughness of the applicant's responses to the required criteria. Commission staff do certify that a due diligence review of the applications were performed. As of this date, the applicant has demonstrated compliance with the laws and regulations of the Commonwealth and suitability for licensure. Accordingly, the applicant is recommended for provisional licensure with the previously mentioned conditions.
Thank you, Cal. Other questions? Then we're ready to vote. Can I have a motion, please, we'll do this separately, to approve the staff recommendation to issue a provisional license to Sanctuary Medicinals Incorporated, MCM 281308, Tier 5 Indoor Cultivation.
Second.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Thank you. Let the record show that Commissioner Doyle made the motion to approve, seconded by Commissioner Flanagan. All in favor?
Aye.
Let the record show the Commission unanimously approved the staff recommendation for Sanctuary Medicinals, MCN 281308. Let me ask for a motion to approve the staff recommendation for Sanctuary Medicinals Incorporated, MPN 281405, product manufacturer. Can I have a motion, please, to approve?
So moved.
Let the record show Commissioner Doyle made the motion to approve, seconded by Commissioner McBride. All in favor?
Aye.
Let the record show the Commission unanimously approved the provisional license for Sanctuary Medicinals Incorporated, MPN 281405. Thank you. Next, again, we're going to go through two different license applications for the same entity. They are Temescal Wellness of Massachusetts Incorporated, MCN 281550, Tier 2 Indoor Cultivation, and MPN 281402, Product Manufacturer. Kyle?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, that's correct. The applicant is Temescal Wellness of Massachusetts Incorporated. The address of the marijuana establishments will be 141 Southwest Cutoff in Worcester, Mass. They are seeking a Tier 2 indoor cultivation license and a product manufacturing license. The applicant does have two other applications, both for retail, one that plans to be located in Pittsfield, one that plans to be located in Madison. I'm sorry, that were provisionally licensed already. There are two individuals associated with this marijuana establishment, Robert Johnson as a board member and Edward Reynolds as a board member. Temescal Wellness of Massachusetts has two entities that are associated with it. One is Temescal Wellness of Massachusetts LLC, which has indirect authority over the applicant. It was formed for the purposes of providing initial capital and operations management services for the R&D business. The applicant represents that Edward Reynolds exercises 100% of the control over this entity. This applicant is an R&D priority applicant. They are in compliance with DPH regulations. The R&D business will be co-located with the adult use business in Worcester. The R&D does have a final certificate of registration for dispensing, cultivation, and processing. The host community agreement was executed on July 26th. The community outreach meeting was held on April 13th. There were no objections communicated to the commission. We did receive a response from the municipality on October 9th stating that the applicant was in compliance with all local ordinances and bylaws for both license types. The applicant did submit a plan to positively impact areas of disproportionate impact, which includes assisting individuals in sealing marijuana-related criminal records by continuing to provide guidance and resources, providing economic and opportunity for those who have been harmed by marijuana prohibition, and providing safe consumer access to legal adult use marijuana, and reduce the historic stigma and associated prejudices of marijuana in the locations in which it operates. There were no concerns stemming from the background checks for any individuals or entities. There were no disclosures of any past civil or criminal issues, as well as no disclosures for any occupational license issues. There was a disclosure of marijuana-related business interests in other jurisdictions. Edward Ruppholz disclosed that marijuana-related business interests in the following jurisdictions: Temescal Wellness Incorporated, which is a marijuana treatment center in New Hampshire, and Temescal Wellness of Maryland LLC, which is a corporation holding 3 medical marijuana licenses in Maryland. None of these disclosures presented any suitability issues. The applicant did submit a proposed timeline. As the applicant is established R&D and is vertically integrated, it states that it could be operational in the adult use market once it is approved The applicant's proposed hours of operation are Monday through Sunday, 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. The applicant is fully compliant with submitting all summaries. All summaries were determined to be substantially compliant with our regulations. The applicant did submit a diversity plan, which includes continuing to work with a staffing agency to hire minority individuals from communities such as Worcester and Framingham who have been harmed by marijuana prohibition. Continue to utilize the Mass Supplier Diversity Office in order to identify certified minority, women, and veteran-owned businesses for vending and contracting services. Continue to hold equal opportunity career fairs and measure the diversity of the organization against the demographics of the marijuana establishment's host community. As this is a cultivation license, they did submit a cultivation plan. The applicant provided a detailed summary of its cultivation plan and provided information on the following areas: climate control, pest management, testing requirements, sanitation requirements, input management, lighting, and inventory management. As this is also a product manufacturing application, they did submit a list of products that they plan to produce, which include vaporizer cartridges, capsules, tinctures, sublingual products, edibles, oils, rosin, bubble hash, wax, shatter, and butter. Commission staff do recommend issuing a provisional license with the following conditions. One, that the applicant is subject to certification that they remain in compliance with DPH regulations, that they submit to inspection in order to ascertain compliance with our regulations, that they are subjected to inspection in order to ascertain that the facilities are compliant with all applicable state and local codes. The applicant shall cooperate with and provide information to commission staff, and final license, provisional license is subject to the payment of appropriate license fees. This recommendation was based on the applicant's demonstrated compliance with the laws and regulations of the Commonwealth, suitability for licensure, and upon the evaluation of the thoroughness of the applicant's responses to required criteria. Commission staff certified that a due diligence review of the applications were performed. As of this date, the applicant has demonstrated compliance with the laws and regulations of the Commonwealth and suitability for licensure. Accordingly, the applicant is recommended for provisional licensure with the previously mentioned conditions.
Thank you. Is my understanding Commissioner Tittle is recusing herself? Thank you. Are there questions or comments on this one? Questions or comments? Commissioner McBride?
Well, I think I would like to reiterate something that Commissioner Flanagan said previously about the plans to positively impact areas of disproportionate impact. I'd like to see a similar condition to what we've done previously. Part 2 and 3 of this plan seem to me to restate what is required by the statute and our regulations.
I agree.
Anyway. So I'd like to see maybe something a little more substantive there.
Great. Any other questions or comments? Then may I ask for a motion to approve the staff recommendation for Domestic Wellness Massachusetts MCN 281550 with the additional requirement proposed by Commissioner McBride, referring to a previous request by Commissioner Flanagan.
So moved. Second.
That was Commissioner Flanagan. I'll let the record show Commissioner Flanagan made the motion approved, seconded by Commissioner Doyle. I think we need to do a voice vote. Commissioner Doyle?
Aye.
Commissioner Hoffman? Aye. Commissioner McBride?
Aye.
Commissioner Flanagan?
Aye.
Let the record show that the vote was 4 in favor of approving the staff recommendation. Voting in favor of Commissioner Doyle, Hoffman, McBride, Flanagan, and Commissioner Tittle has been recused or has recused herself. Okay, thank you. Let me ask for a motion to approve Domestic Wellness Massachusetts Incorporated MPN 281402, again subject to the additional condition just discussed. May I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second, let the record show Commissioner Doyle made the motion to approve, seconded by Commissioner McBride. Your voice vote, Commissioner Doyle?
Aye.
Commissioner Hoffman, aye. Commissioner McBride?
Aye.
Commissioner Flanagan?
Aye.
Let the record show that the commission voted in favor of approving the staff recommendation. Commissioners Doyle, Hoffman, McBride, and Flanagan voting in favor. Commissioner Tittle has recused herself from this vote. Is she recused? Oh, I'm sorry. I looked over there. I didn't see you. Are you coming back this one? Next to Theory Wellness is the next day. Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, and again, we're going to go through one summary for these two license applications. Is that correct?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. So let's start. Theory Wellness Incorporated MCN 281524, Tier 1 Indoor Cultivation, and MPN 281424, Product Manufacturer. Kyle?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The applicant is Theory Wellness Incorporated. They will be located at 1050 Elm Street in Bridgewater, Mass. The two license types sought are cultivation, which is a Tier 1 indoor cultivation license, and a product manufacturing license. This applicant has been provisionally licensed previously for a retail establishment located in Great Barrington. The individuals associated with this establishment include the following: Nick Friedman, Brandon Pollock, Hunter Pollock, Andrew Linegar, Stephen Derry, Asher Woodworth, Benjamin Friedman, which are all board members, Matthew Gamble, and James Judge, which are both managers. There are two entities associated with this establishment: Signet Electronic Systems and Wayne Alarm Systems, which are both security vendors. The applicant is an RMD priority. They are in compliance with DPH regulations. This RMD business will be co-located with the adult use business in Bridgewater. The RMD does have a final certificate of registration for dispensing, cultivation, and processing. The host community agreement for these applications was executed on July 26th. The community outreach meeting was held on April 23rd. There were no objections that were communicated to the commission. The commission did receive a response from the municipality on October 17th, stating that the applicant was in compliance with all local ordinances for both license types. The applicant did submit a plan to positively impact areas of disproportionate impact. They plan to give priority to local businesses, suppliers, contractors, builders, and vendors in Brockton for services to the marijuana establishment, give priority to local individuals in Brockton for employment purposes, sponsor and participate in marijuana industry events that are designed to encourage individuals harmed by the war on drugs to participate in the industry, and they will hold an employment fair, food drive, and marijuana education seminar once a year in Brockton. There were no concerns for any of the individuals or entities associated with this application. There were no disclosures that raised any suitability issues on past civil or criminal actions. There were no disclosures of any occupational license issues. There were disclosures of business interests in other jurisdictions. Nick Friedman disclosed marijuana-related business interests in 2 facilities in Oregon. Brandon Pollock did disclose a marijuana-related business interest in New Hampshire. Also, Temescal Wellness, there was no disclosure of any interest to the same entity that was just previously licensed. The applicant did submit a proposed timeline. As the applicant is an established RMD and it is vertically integrated, they state that they could be operational in the adult use market once it is approved for licensure. The proposed hours of operation are Monday through Sunday, 5:30 a.m. to 8 p.m. The applicant is fully compliant with submitting all summaries. All summaries were determined to be substantially compliant with our regulations. The applicant did submit a diversity plan. They do plan to hire a diverse workforce that includes women, veterans, farmers, minorities, and individuals with past drug convictions. The applicant will hold training sessions in Brockton to encourage and assist individuals to become involved in the adult use marijuana industry. The training sessions will aim to attract individuals facing systemic barriers to entry into the adult use industry. Once a year, the applicant will examine the effectiveness of its plan